update time on the expedition meals. After my last video, Mr. and Mrs. Expedition saw said video and reached out to me and said, we're very sorry. No, they didn't say it like that. Would you like to try a meal that you haven't ordered, and let us know which one, you know, that you haven't ordered out of a list that they enclosed, and we'll send you one free. Bonus free. So anyway, I replied back and I said, well, I'll try the fishy one. Could I have the fish one? So this is the fish and potato. Now, obviously, they can't get away completely scot-free, because I did say, if you're feeling particularly generous, could I try one other one as a free one? But they weren't feeling particularly generous, and they just sent the one free one. Anyway, beggars can't be choosers, so we're going to try our free pack today. We don't have any coupons or vouchers or discounts for you, so as Clint Eastwood would say, you're shit out of luck on that one. You're going to have to go and buy them somewhere or other yourself, and time will tell whether Expedition Foods or anyone ever gives me anything ever again. So we're going to open this one up, and hang on. You've got to be a bit careful when you open it up, because if you go at the wrong angle, you go the wrong way. You go the wrong way. Okay, let's try that, and then. Now, I will say, one of the reasons, don't forget to take out your poor Messner freeze-dried thing. It does smell fishy, obviously. That's what it looks like inside. Now, it will be interesting what this tastes like, I will admit, because hopefully you can. So I think we'll put all that water in, because that was about 250 to 300 mil. So we're going to give that. Make sure you get right into the corners. Wait 5 minutes. So you've still got your wait 5 minutes. Now, I do owe Expedition Foods an apology, and everyone else, for being blind as a bat. They do indeed say there how much water to put in, so that there are no markings, but it does say water required just there, 250 ml. I do think it could be a little bit clearer, because it's kind of mixed up in with the dry weight, gross weight, water required, produced in UK writing.
If you're enjoying this video, please do like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button to all.
And so, you know, and it's also halfway down that list of stuff. So maybe it's just me, but when I see dry weight, gross weight, my eyes kind of glaze over by the time I get to that point. And, you know, even though it's relatively clear and obvious once you see it, I never saw it at all. So I do apologise to Expedition Foods. You do indeed have the amount of water there. Somehow we got it right anyway. So we're going to leave that 5 minutes. It's probably had about 1 minute already. So we will see what this one tastes like. Now, I will say one of the reasons why I didn't get this one, and when they asked which one I'd like to have as my free one, the choices didn't spring out at me, for the simple reason I'd picked all the best ones, you know, and multiple options of the best ones that were for me. And I do like fish, but when I looked up what type of fish they use, it's basically hake. And hake is literally one of the only white fish that I don't particularly like so much. So it will be interesting with all the other flavors as to what it's like. I don't know why they use hake. I would have thought cod or haddock or something like that would be better, but it's probably one of the cheaper ones. They could use sea bass. Sea bass would be really nice. So that, you know, there might be a little bit of controversy over using bassa, but bassa is not an expensive fish and is, to my mind, far superior to hake. Leave a comment below as to what is your favourite fish. Do you like fish? Expedition Foods will probably watch this video, so leave a comment below if you think they should offer something else. keep it polite, don't do a Tony comment. Anyway, so we had enough water for my tea, and of course the advantage of, you know, of a bag like that, you keep your pan clean. So yesterday we had that pastry thing. Today we've got, you know, this. So I've still got a couscous left, so I'll take that next time. And I want to try and get back to my freeze-dried things as well. But anyway, we're gonna give that a minute. It's really coming up to 5 minutes actually. I've talked for a few minutes. Okay, well, it's been a good 5 or 6 minutes now. So with these big bags here, you get a tear point a little bit lower down, which is kind of handy. So let's have a look. This will be interesting because I won't buy hake at home because I just don't like it very much. It's not a very nice flavour. Okay, well, it's I mean, it's not as nice as the other two meaty ones, you know, definitely are nicer. But if you're a vegetarian or a fish-eating vegetarian, then it's not bad. It's rehydrated quite well, but not as well as the others. I can't quite tell what hasn't rehydrated properly. Maybe it's the fish. It's interesting because I'd put this, I think the chicken meal that I made, I think that rehydrated either the same as this or marginally better.
Probably about the same, thinking about it properly. It definitely didn't do it better.
And I gave that 8 out of 10, didn't I? Like I said, I think you have to take into consideration my prejudice against hake, because I think bassa, sea bass, cod, haddock, salmon, I think any of those would be better than hake. And like I said, that's why I didn't get this. But if you like fish and you just want something different, it's probably worth getting. But if you're like me and you're more a meat eater, then I'd probably be getting like 10 meat packets and maybe 1 or 2 of these. I think as I'm going down, oh God, if you pardon the expression. As I'm getting through the food, I think it's getting more hydrated. So maybe the fish one, maybe you want to give it 10 minutes rather than just 5. I don't like corn. I wouldn't eat corn at home, and there is corn mixed in, but to be fair, I don't know it's there. As in, I can see it's there, but it's kind of just getting swallowed with everything else. Like I said, for a change, if you were on an expedition, not that anyone on an expedition is ever going to watch my crap, but for a change, you know, from other things, and then, yeah, I probably would put 1 or 2 in, but like I said, I would be eating 3 or 4 of the meaty ones before I came to this. It's still not fully hydrated at the bottom, but I think generally it's getting better. I think this one, well, I have to say, I gave my chicken 8. And to be fair, this is not as nice as my chicken. I can't give it 8 because it's not as nice as my chicken. But like I said, that's because of the fish. I think if it was a different fish, I'll give it I'll give it 7.5, but that's me being negative against hake. I'm being hakeist. If you like hake and you like fish, then it's probably on a par with my chicken meal, and therefore I'll give it a final 8 out of 10 score, but it's not as good as their meaty ones. But again, you know, it might be that you prefer this to meat, you know. So to someone else, to me this is 8 maximum, but to someone else this could be a 9, 9.5. We all have slightly different taste buds and everything else like that. So, you know, to me it's an 8 based on, you know, I'm not a huge fan of hake. It could almost have done with oh, pardon me. It could almost have done with something else, like a little extra vegetable in there or something like that. You've got potatoes, you've got milk, there's diced onions, which is the 3rd ingredient, hokey, which is the hake, 14%, single cream milk, rapeseed oil, sweet corn, sugar, corn flour and chopped parsley. It could almost have done with just something else, just to liven it up a little bit. Maybe a little bit more onion. I don't know what the contraindications of peppers are. Maybe a little pepper. There's no pepper in here. There's not even ground pepper. There's no salt in here. They haven't added salt. I think if you're really going to enjoy this, I think you want to make sure that you bring a tiny bit of your own salt and pepper, you know, to go with this one. It's just a little bit bland compared to the other ones. The other ones just seemed a little bit tastier, you know, compared to this. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful for you, and I hope that's helpful to Expedition Foods. they probably they probably won't do any changes like I'd suggest, but I must admit it wasn't bad. You can have a look in a minute, Lassie. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But yeah, not my favourite, that one. Not my favourite, but that's why I never got one. So it's kind of, you know, handy to try one that I wouldn't have chosen. Good evening, everybody. It's been a thoroughly lazy day today. We've just basically sat here and relaxed and chilled out. We've made a few videos, we've gone for a short walk, and really not done very much at all. And it's been wonderful. Unless you have to be doing a lot of walking, I can definitely recommend lazing around in camp if you can find somewhere, you know, quiet, off the grid a bit. You know, just chilling out somewhere. It's wonderful. Heading back tomorrow, so I would have been here for 3 nights. I was going to do a video on shoes. It's already coming up to 7 o'clock, so I'm probably gonna just relax. Now, the ridiculous thing is, we've still got about 3 hours of light. It'll be dark in about 2.5 hours. Really, sun sets in 2.5 hours, but we've still theoretically got half an hour of light after that at least. So there's still another 3 hours of daylight left. And if you go back to the middle of winter when it's dark at 4 o'clock, just after 4, you know, it would have been dark. My eyes are just feeling a bit tired or something. It would have been dark now for nearly 4 hours. The middle of summer is a very strange, I think it's the sun coming right through there that's catching me out. Let's try that angle there. I think my eyes have had a lot of sun. I had my hat on. I probably should have put my glasses on too. I used to wear sunglasses just all the time, and I found as I've got older, I don't know whether my eyes are, they're not less sensitive, because I definitely noticed that I can't look up at a clear blue sky. My eyes just instantly start streaming. But I always used to wear glasses, even when I was just looking, sunglasses, even when I was just looking down, and I don't do that so much now. Maybe I brought them with me just in case, and if I'd have been walking I probably would have put them on, but because I've been in camp I haven't, and maybe I should. So my eyes feel a little bit tired and uncomfortable, and just not the most comfortable with that sun now. I'm definitely feeling sleepy now. But it's been a very, very enjoyable, relaxing day. It's just sheep and cows everywhere. I can't remember if I said or not, but someone was asking what wildlife we get here. Cows and sheep and a few ponies, and that's it. A few ground nesting birds. I've seen some ground nesting birds, and you do occasionally see the occasional frog. I haven't this time, but you do occasionally see the occasional frog. We saw the red arrows fly over. We saw them yesterday. They flew right over our heads yesterday, but I wasn't expecting them yesterday, so I didn't get anything. Someone did say that they were coming over again today, So I was half prepared today, but I didn't think they'd be flying over until about, I don't know, 5:30, 6, something like that. And they flew over at 4:30. So I was still not really prepared, but I grabbed one quick photo. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with this airbed as well, because I repaired it, but I still think air is getting out. Now, I don't know whether air is getting out somewhere else or whether it's that particular patch that's still leaking. I'm not entirely sure. I doubt there's another hole realistically. So I might have to send it in for a repair. It's a bit annoying really, because that's the new one that they that they sent me. So, and I must admit, I've got 2 others that have got leaks, and I need to send them in really, because I don't think they've got holes in them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the valve, or I don't know. I've dunked one of them in the bath and I can't see any air coming out. The other one I haven't bothered dunking in, but it might be worth. So I need to get them sent back really, because they do a lifetime guarantee, and maybe they could just repair them. Anyway, that's a buyer. Bloody hell. I think I'm going to make another cup of tea. I've eaten. I'm going to have another cup of tea. And then I'm just going to chill out and relax here for another hour or 2. Really, it kind of depends when it starts to get a bit too cool to stay out. And then I think I'll duck into the sleeping bag. What I will say, I've got this new, I'll do a video on it in more detail when I've used it a little bit more. But what I will say about this new PhD M degree sleeping bag is that it's very nice. It's very comfortable. It's very nice. It's very comfortable. I think I'm getting too tired to talk properly. It's ridiculously light. It's like less than, I can't remember, I've actually got a note here. I'll exert myself and get my note out of my pocket, because I actually did weigh it before coming out. Wow, yeah, it is light. Yeah, so the sleeping bag is 345 grams. With the foot box added, it's 410. But yeah, so the sleeping bag itself is 345 grams, that's all. That's a very, very lightweight sleeping bag. It's designed down to +10. But last night went down to 8 degrees, and I was cool, but then that was partly because this airbed isn't keeping fully inflated. Plus, I just had a t-shirt and my wind shirt on, and if I'd have put either a light down jacket on or a fleece, I probably would have been, just an extra layer. I probably would have been fine. But even then, it was okay. I'll use it a bit more, and then I'll do a video on it in more detail. But yeah, that's a nice sleeping bag. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you. My eyes. Maybe if I put you down there like that, then I can look at you down there now. But yes, that's a very, very nice sleeping bag. I can definitely recommend, if you can afford PhD. I don't even have to hold it now. Yeah, if you can afford PhD, like I said, I've been using their sleeping bags for about 10, and now it's like my head's got to be turned that way now. Yeah, I've been using their sleeping bags for about 10 plus years. Oop. Ever since I started this camping malarkey. My very first camp would have been in a PhD sleeping bag. Actually, that's another video I could do, is why I went straight to super expensive kit rather than why didn't I go budget to see how I liked it. That's another oh fuck, that's another video topic, isn't that? Oh. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have a cup of tea. I might need to put my fleece on in a minute actually, because it's just starting to cool off a little bit. It's not cold, but it's definitely not as warm as it was, you know, earlier on, and it is going to get cooler. So I think I'm going to put my other jumper on in a minute. Oh. Well, the cows haven't come down. We had one cow came down earlier on. And that was it. Maybe that one cow came down to see whether we were still here, and then went off and told his buddies they're still down there. We'll have to go to another water source. I don't know. But we've only had one cow down here today. Anyway, we've got the kettle on. Oh. Suddenly feeling quite tired now. Okay, well we're obviously finishing up now. We're walking back to the car. I don't quite know how this trip's going to pan out video wise. There's sort of lots of or several individual video clips, and then obviously there's a little bit of general natter as well, so we'll kind of see how it pans out when I stick it in on the computer and start editing it. So my next trip and my next plan, and it will rather depend on various things, but I'm hoping to get to the outdoor trade show in the middle of June, and then the Peak District afterwards. Okay, well, until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button to all. Leave a comment below. I always try to reply to everybody. Sometimes I might just be busy doing other things, but I usually do reply somewhere or other. Sometimes I sort of save a reply because it's fairly quiet. It's a fairly quiet channel, so sometimes because there's not much going on, I sort of thought I'd save that reply for a day or two and then reply when I've got a minute and there aren't any other comments that need replying to. Oh, okay, we'll do that one now then. Anyway, I'll see you next time. As always, thanks very much for watching.